Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. Thank the person who invited you to get this really important information because if you are open to it, listening with an open heart and mind, it does have the potential to just change your life and the lives of those you care about. So, I'm Darlene Bergener from Australia, and I am so excited to introduce our speaker today is Dr. Kathleen Kangas. So, she has her doctorate in physical therapy. She is an expert myofascial release therapist and has a private practice in Panama City, Florida, treating clients with pain, chronic issues, and specializing in women's health. She's been doing all that while expanding her business as an executive leader at LifeVantage. She's been part of our fitness world for 35 years, professionally and personally. She currently enjoys a lot of Peloton and CrossFit. She's an amazing military wife and mom to two boys and stepmom to four girls. She's been with LifeVantage for 12 years and just has an extensive experience with the products in the business and a huge heart. So just welcome, Kathleen. Thank you for sharing this information with us today.
Thank you, Darlene, all the way from Australia. I appreciate you. And I'm hoping everybody, the thumbnails are showing up properly, right? So I hope you guys can see me now that I'm the speaker here. So thank you all for being here. If you are live or catching the replay, I know it took a minute to carve out some time, but it is going to be well worth your time. I do encourage people to have a piece of paper, something to take some notes so that you can ask those questions and then get back with the person that invited you at the end of the presentation. So I'll invite you to kind of put your distractions down, maybe turn your cell phone off and just be present with us tonight. Because for the next 45 minutes or so, you're going to hear about a company and a product line that's perfectly positioned to dominate in the area of health and wellness that is considered the largest economic trend in world history, according to Paul Zane-Pilzer. He's a world economist. He's an author of The Next Millionaires. He's advised multiple presidents. We have something very special on our hands. We are a publicly traded company, and we are catching the attention of investors all around the world. But before we get into that story, I want to go back in time. I call it our time capsule to 2005 when ABC News did a primetime investigative report on a small biotech company out of Denver, Colorado. We watch it because it is such a critical part of our story. It's antiquated, but we'll fill you in on the rest of the story at the end. While you're watching this ABC News clip, ask yourself these two really important questions. Okay, ready? Who needs this information? And if you could benefit from this information financially, would you be open to that? I'm going to continue here and we're going to watch just a few minutes of this. Here we go.
The following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig. Dr. McCord, okay. I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist. Pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
And scoop, yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically. of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
As it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. And so you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me?
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Okay, so I'm going to move on from here. That ABC News clip, again, aired in 2005. The full rendition of that you can find at YouTube. And it's just so significant. So we're going to start there. I'm going to tell you the company story. We're going to talk about our product story. We're going to talk about leveraged income. I will share my story. Our special guest, Darlene, will share her story with you. And most importantly, because of the timing, how you can capitalize on this information. We can truly offer you a powerful and proven way to create a supplemental income stream if it's something that resonates with you. Sound good? All right. Well, let's get started. I'm going to start by asking you a question, and that is, had you ever heard of oxidative stress prior to seeing that news clip? I'm just curious. I usually have people just put it in the chat, yes or no. 12 years ago, when I first saw this, I had never heard of oxidative stress, even though I'd been in the health profession my entire life. I was pretty shocked. So I want to make sure we're clear about what it is, why we have it, and why this is relevant to our conversation. So oxidative stress is damage to the cells of our body. It's just normal cells turned abnormal, mutations. It turns normal cells to abnormal cells. And it happens because of the food we eat, the water that we drink, the air that we breathe. There's too little exercise, too much exercise. That's me sometimes. Environmental toxins. There's Wi-Fi and EMFs, medications. All of these things are accelerating the damage to our body significantly. Okay, so we are aging quickly. And you can find actually, if you go to a website called pubmed.gov and just type in oxidative stress, there are well over 252,000 and counting studies on oxidative stress. So if you're ever curious if it's connected to something that's, more relevant for you in your life, you can type in oxidative stress and blank. And of course, you can see here that oxidative stress impacts every organ in our body. Now, you may have seen that John Quinones, his oxidative stress was reduced by 45%, and that was just in 2 weeks. The first study that was published on Protandim, which you can find at PubMed, proves that Protandim reduces oxidative stress an average of 40% in 30 days. We can legally say that to the FDA, which is a big, big deal because the FDA can shut you down if you make claims that you cannot prove. So we do have that initial study to prove what we do. That's significant. To my knowledge, we're the only company and product line that can actually make that claim today. Now, here's the problem. Most people are pretty tuned into antioxidants through vitamins and through healthy food, of course. But Dr. McCord, who helped develop Protandim, says that our body produces about 300 septillion free radicals every single day. And when you take a vitamin C or eat your broccoli and oranges, one molecule, one antioxidant can neutralize only one of those free radicals. It is similar to taking Dixie cups of water to put out a house fire. It doesn't sound very efficient, right? 400 oranges to do that's not realistic. So what Protandim is not a supplement. It is not an antioxidant in the way that these direct antioxidants work. It is an activator. Specifically, it activates something called your NRF2 pathway, NRF2 like a football. And when that happens, you are turning on your body's internal switch to wake up your body's own antioxidant enzymes. So instead of Dixie cups of water to put out that house fire, you have turned on the sprinkler system with a fire hose in every room of the burning house. Now, here's another question. Who do you think needs to know about that? 12 years ago, it didn't take me long to start thinking about people I knew in my life who needed to know that their bodies could be activated. All right, so what happened? When that aired in 2005, $5 million of orders came into the company literally overnight. This was a teeny biotech company. They had no marketing team. They had no infrastructure. So they kind of missed that window of opportunity to fulfill on $5 million of orders. However, doctors and researchers from all over the world called LifeVantage and said, we want to study that product that they saw on ABC News. And today, fast forward, we have 28 peer-reviewed papers and studies and counting on our foundation product, Protandim. The American Heart Association did a study with Ohio State on heart disease and scar tissue and put that in Circulation Journal to all the AHA members. You can look that up today. LSU did a skin cancer study, and the results of that were so compelling, the company took this technology of activation and put it into a skincare line. We have that today. The National Institute of Aging studied Protandim along with some other natural ingredients that are shown to extend life possibly. Well, Protandim was the only natural product to show an increase in lifespan by 7% in that animal model. So the point is, this is not your average thing on the market. But what they ended up doing is putting this in, retail stores like CVS, apothecaries, all over the country in the United States. But it was literally sitting in the antioxidant section because there's no shelf for activation, no shelf for NRF2 or anything like that. It was $50 sitting next to a bottle of vitamin C for $10. What would you have bought if you hadn't seen that ABC News clip? They couldn't get the sales over 3 million a year for a few years. They brought in a business consultant in 2009 who watched that same ABC News clip that you just watched, that we still watch today, and was so blown away by that discovery and that exposure. He says, we can continue to use that ABC News clip, but not with that product in the stores. Pull this product off the shelves and put it in the hands of people who can share this story. Connect people to the information. Invite people to watch this ABC News clip. We do it all the time, right? We go to a good physical therapist, a good massage therapist, a great yoga class. We get a great haircut and we talk about it. We do it every day, all over social media and with our friends. And we're always asking for referrals. So that's called network marketing. And they pulled the product from the shelves, put it into a network marketing platform, and it was a huge success. And he says, we don't want people to be salespeople, right? Most people don't want to do that. So he says, use this tool as a way to share the story of LifeVantage. They went from 3 million to 11 million the first year in network marketing. And today we are almost $250 million company, publicly traded on the NASDAQ today. And this is where I'm going to go into some of the components to consider as you're exploring this, and whether you are exploring this as a potential customer who wants to activate their body to feel better, have more vitality, look better, perform better. Great. I'm going to get through those products, and then I'm going to move into a business conversation, because at the end of the day, most people I know would say, if I had more money next year than I have this year, they would be interested in that. And I don't want you to like miss that opportunity to hear that. It is a huge, huge business opportunity if you're open to that. So let's talk about the company. We're going to talk about trends in business. We will talk about our products, our timing, our compensation, and the systems, because most people are asking, can I do this? I'm going to tell you about that at the end. So a little bit more about LifeVantage itself. Again, we've been around for a little while in the network marketing space since 2009. We are headquartered in Utah, publicly traded on the NASDAQ. So I love that everything is transparent. We don't have to wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Cool thing is that we were invited twice to close the bell on Wall Street. So we do have that recognition and exposure. We have a legacy program that is a nonprofit program where we do give back to the community every time we get together for corporate events. And we are a debt-free company as well. Something important to consider if you have any experience in network marketing, to know that that company is debt-free when you're getting started as a business consultant, a business owner. We also have a board of directors. That keeps us honest, right? We have a lot of input into what's, who's running our company. And that makes me feel good as a business owner and being part of LifeVantage. We are open in over 23 countries today. We have Darlene representing Australia over here. That's exciting. But obviously this was a huge success. We have consultant and business opportunities in several of these countries. Some of the countries are just open for customers. But we also have a global purchasing program, which allows pretty much any country to access our products through third-party shipper. So a lot of people sometimes ask, can I get this product into Argentina? Well, through our global shipping program, we can. And if you did just come on the line, if you could mute yourself, please. Thank you. Let's talk about trends. I'd like to talk about the product trends, but there's also some business trends to consider. And that is the trend in living paycheck to paycheck. Lots of people, especially young people, are having to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. This is just the constant conversation going on that people are not making enough money to live the lifestyle they want. And this is a low cost to doing business. Having your own business is really great. In traditional business, it can be very, very expensive. Thousands of dollars, investors, high risk for starting a traditional business. You've got overhead, and that's not the case with LifeVantage. Very, very low risk and with unlimited income potential. Also, people are interested in working from home. Why is that? Because that gives them access to their life. They have a little bit more flexibility. And that's one of the reasons that I said yes to the business of LifeVantage, because of the flexibility of what this had to offer. I was already on board with these products. Let's talk about them. $300 billion market in anti-aging, skincare, 121 billion, hair care, pet care, energy, and weight loss. We have very unique consumable and category creating products in all of these categories. So hold on, I just need Michelle to mute their line, please. Hold on, let me open this up here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. That's our beautiful product line. And I'm going to go through the products at this point. Oops. There we go. Protandim NRF2 Synergizer is our flagship product, proven to lower oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. Increased glutathione by 300% in one of the studies you can find at pubmed.gov. This is significant, and it's made up of 5 plant ingredients: turmeric, milk thistle, green tea, ashwagandha, and bacopa, and you might be familiar with some of these ingredients, but that's not the unique thing about Protandim NRF2. When these exact ingredients were combined, it made it 18 times more powerful than the individual components in Protandim. You can find the synergy study at pubmed.gov. Look at that. Excuse me. If you think of baking a cake and all the ingredients that you need to put that cake together to make it a cake, it's not the same once it's baked, right? So that's the same thing with Protandim. All of these individual ingredients don't make up Protandim. It's the combination that made it special. We didn't stop at Protandim NRF2. We didn't stop at that NRF2 pathway. We've discovered another pathway called the NRF1 pathway, which activates our mitochondrial function. This is to improve performance through energy. So this is also plant-based synergistic formula. And then we have Protandim NAD. This is a big topic out there. It's kind of a popular thing that's popping up here and there. So supports healthy longevity, focus, mood. What's interesting about NAD, it's something that does get activated with fasting. As you can see down here in the right, there's a little chart. With severe caloric restriction, with fasting, you can increase your NAD, your sirtuin activity, which gets stimulated from NAD by 94%. There's some other competitors out there with NAD products, 2%. And then our NAD synergizer with LifeVantage is 100% increase in sirtuin activity from the activation of the NAD molecule. Here's a special thing about all 3 of these combined. When they put them all together, all these are individually incredible products, but the combination of these 5, we call them the tri-synergizer because they synergistically work together and exponentially increase the potency of that activation when taken together. This is, I believe, patent pending. All of our products are approved through the Banned Substance Control Group and have the highest safety recognition in the US. So Olympic athletes can take our product, professional athletes can take our products without question. I'm going to really quickly go through a couple supportive products that we use in conjunction with our activators. We have timed nutrient vitamins. So we have a morning and an evening called Rise AM and Reset PM. I use these because I know personally that I don't get all the nutrients that I need in my diet on a daily basis. I try, but I don't get everything. So these also support the cell signaling and gene activation to help maximize the effectiveness of the Protandim line. And it has a light vanilla coating flavor around the caplet so that it's just easy to swallow. It doesn't have any of that yucky taste. The Reset PM helps your body relax in the morning. The Rise AM gives your body that energy it needs. We do not need all the ingredients in one pill at the same time during a day. We have a D3 to help support our vitamin D stores, of course, and there's so many benefits to that. And our Omega Plus, one of my favorite products, it's the only product that actually CrossFit recommends. And I'm part of CrossFit. I thought that was an interesting fun fact, but it supports inflammation, so protects your cells, skin health, cognitive health, cardiovascular health. And this has omega-3 and 7. This product is bottled within 8 hours from when it's caught on the boat. It's completely pristine. You can bite into the capsule and just suck down the oil. It tastes that good. Also, you can trace the bottle to the boat that the fish was caught on. So again, transparency is one of our values in our company, and I love that our products are so safe and clean. We have Icy Bright for our vision support. As we're sitting here on our phones or our laptops, we're actually getting oxidative stress in our eyes. That blue light does damage our eyes over time, so this does help protect your eyes from the effects of blue light damage and supports long-term eye health. Activation for our skin. I had mentioned that LSU did a skin cancer study, and this is what we have evolved to. This skincare line is absolutely incredible. I use it on my face, my neck, this area, they call it decollage, I think, something like that. It's a cleanser, a plant-based retinol, an eye lift that literally goes all the way around the eye and the eyelid, and a true hydrate. So it is a 4-piece system. And when you use this, you will see a difference in 15 minutes. I just invite you to take a look at some of these pictures. You can just see the glow, and especially the second one here, the glow in the skin. You can just see the skin's rehydrated. Some of those fine lines are diminished. I love this. We also have a hair care line. As we age, oxidative stress does impact our hair growth. And so this is activation on the outside. We activate with Protanum on the inside. We have our skincare line and our hair care line to activate the outside. It is a shampoo, a conditioner, and a scalp serum, which helps balance the microflora of your scalp. We have the best, I'm sorry. Well, I'm blanking on this. Sunscreen. I was going to say skincare. Sunscreen. I don't know about you, but I've used face sunscreens before. It pulls the skin, it leaves a white residue, it's sticky. This has none of that, but it's 100% zinc oxide along with ginger root, jojoba oil, shea butter, and the zinc oxide. It's clean, smooth, leaves no residue, and it's not sticky. It's the best thing ever for anti-aging and for our kids. And then we have a Nerve 2 activating hand cream, because if you look at your hands are aging. And this is a great way to fight oxidative stress on your hands. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this product right here, activating liquid collagen. This is not the same thing as collagen that you buy from the store that's in powder form. It does a couple of things differently. It activates our body's ability to make our own collagen. That's significant. That's not something you get at the store. In addition, it has 10 different types of peptides to replenish the lost collagen that you have, because as we age, about after 20, I think 1% loss every year. And then it also helps maintain your collagen stores. So it's breaking down more slowly as we age. Activates, replenishes, and maintains. And it goes beyond what we can see on our skin, which I'm going to show you some cool pictures here in just a moment. But this does impact our muscle recovery, our joint health, our gut health, our bone strength, brain, everything, because collagen makes up every part of our body, and it does break down as we get older. This is an incredible picture. In 8 weeks, you can see the amount of collagen density. It goes from 30.5 to 68.5. That is over 100% increase in collagen density when taking this activating liquid collagen. And why liquid instead of powder? Well, liquid has a 90% absorption rate because it's hydrolyzed. I mean, it's chopped up into smaller pieces for better absorption. Your body doesn't have to work to break it down. If you're taking a powder collagen, you put it in your coffee in the morning, it's about 10 to 30% absorption. That's why people are having such incredible results. So let's take a look. And while you're watching this, I just have to add, as a myofascial therapist and understanding fascia and how it works, this really blew me away when they launched this product and I got into the research about collagen and how our body functions and how it affects our fascia. So this is why it's a critical product that I do share with my patients and people that I know, because I know fascia. Look at this. You can see the change in the skin quality. I have personal results with this product. I've been using it since it came out in 2022. Every single day. Men use it too. There's a great picture here of legs, that crepey skin that we get as we age. It helps kind of rehydrate and plump up that picture. Yes, this is our friend, Dr. Nancy Bryan. Pretty incredible, right? All right, that's pretty exciting. I was asked to spend a little bit more time on those pictures on this presentation, so I hope you got that. We have Pet Tandem. It's the only NRF2 activator on the market for dogs today, proven to reduce oxidative stress in our furry babies. And we know, if you think of it from a marketing standpoint, that people will often spend more money on their pets, or they'll take their pet to the doctor before they take themselves. A lot of people are looking for natural ways to support their body and their pet's body. Axio is our brain food. It improves mental endurance, mental acuity, concentration, and memory, enhances neurotransmitter function, and the brain's resilience to stress. So I'm just curious, you can just say it in your head. Do you experience brain fatigue by the end of the day? Okay. This reduces that brain fatigue and that brain fog. So at the end of the day, we have decaf Axio, which I'm drinking right now, because it does reduce that brain fatigue and that brain fog. So it increases positive mood. I love this because, again, it's banned substance control group. It's a healthy alternative to the stuff that people are drinking, which has like 200 milligrams of caffeine. Ours is only 100 milligrams and it's green tea based. And then we have our decaf version. Gut health is a really critical component of our product line. We have a prebiotic, which essentially promotes a healthy relationship of bacteria by allowing the probiotics to thrive, like the healthy bacteria to thrive. Just think of it as like soil for those healthy bacteria. It helps balance your microbiome. It helps maintain blood sugar. It helps promote bowel regularity. So if you ever struggle with that, this is really great. And it does also help suppress appetite. We have a probiotic, which is a timed release probiotic, which means it actually gets to your stomach acids and into your intestines where it needs to be. Your gut has a lot to do with your immune system and your brain health. It's really important to have that in check. And then we have a daily wellness. It's an immune support drink with postbiotics in it. Like I said, immune health, gut health, they go hand in hand. This is so yummy. It's like a wild berry flavor. I make it in a tea every single night and I drink it as my, something to sip on before I go to sleep. Moving into our weight management component here, and then I'm going to talk about one of the most significant product lines that ever has been released by our company here, and then I'm going to invite our special guest on to share a little bit. Our physique fat burn is a metabolic enhancer. It is not a one-stop shop where that's all people need to do. It is a powerful tool, however, to increase a caloric burn, but the studies say up to 181 calories per day. Okay, so you can imagine in conjunction with a healthy diet and exercise and our new product line that I'm going to talk about here in a moment and a fat burn, that's huge. You're having so many tools in the toolbox there to help manage weight and fire up your metabolism. And here we come with mind body. This is our GLP-1 activation system. It's clinically shown to naturally increase GLP-1 hormone 140% up to 200%. Okay, the most recent study showed up to 200%. It is a two-part system, which includes 2 pills that you take first thing in the morning to directly activate that GLP-1 hormone. And then there is a powder. It's a fiber-based powder to get all that gut health that you need, because we know that gut health has a lot to do with also how we absorb nutrients and how our body manages weight. Here's just a bullet point list of all the things that it does. It naturally increases GLP-1 hormone. It supports sustainable weight loss and wellness. I say that because people are doing other things, okay, around the GLP-1 hormone that aren't necessarily for wellness. It's for weight loss, but there are some side effects that might be associated with that. This helps balance hunger hormones to increase satiety. So that the gut is talking to the brain. Okay, so there's that faster communication, so you feel fuller longer and you feel fuller sooner. It quiets food noise, cuts down cravings, and so it reduces your desire to snack. And most importantly, I think it is that it helps maintain blood sugar levels. That's where people have, cravings that aren't healthy. They're not healthy food cravings. And it can really mess up how our body stores fat with these blood sugar swings. They did find 100% of people in our clinical study who used this system maintained their muscle. On average, about 83% of the participants in the study had a significant weight loss, anywhere from 9 pounds to 25 pounds by 12 weeks. That's give or take. And some people are taking longer because the baseline is we're all at a different place, right? Our metabolic health is at a different place for everybody. So it can take a little longer for some people, depending on what your starting point is. But look at these numbers. 82%, 95%, 96% chose smaller portions, 90% ate less, 85% felt less hungry, 85% now eat for health instead of emotions. So many people are looking for just more control around their relationship with food. And while I am showing some of these pictures, I'm going to introduce my friend and colleague, Darlene Bergener, who originally is, well, she's from Maryland. I met her in Maryland, but she's been around the world a couple times as a military wife. And she is now in Australia, but she is a former mechanical engineer. She retired from that to pursue her passion for health and wellness. And now she's actually a yoga instructor, a massage therapist, specializing in myofascial release like I am. We both do that work. She's a birth doula and childbirth educator. She teaches online global pain relief master classes, helping people worldwide to optimize their health. She said yes to LifeVantage, and I want to hear about her, why she said yes to these products in this business. We're going to talk about products first. She recently moved to Canberra, Australia with her husband and 2 daughters. And I'm going to invite her to come on here now. Darlene, are you there? I'm going to stop share so people can see you. Oops. There we go. All right, you there, Darlene?
Can you hear me?
Yes. So one thing I know
Excellent.
about you, Darlene, is that you are very detailed about research and science, and that's something very, very interesting to you. Like you love that, right? So when someone like you gets it, it's really exciting because we have this incredible science. So share with us a little bit about, your any product experience you've had or that you've had with your patients or yourself or your family.
Sure, absolutely. The science is a big component about why I'm here, and I can share that in a little bit. But just about my personal experience with this, when I first learned about it, I was pretty healthy. I didn't have anything specific going on in my body. What I noticed right away was that I was sleeping so much deeper. I had young kids. They go to school, they come back, they sneeze, people would get sick. We had a neighborhood where we had lots and lots of moms that would go down with all the bugs getting passed around the school, and my husband and I would high five each other because we wouldn't get sick or we'd get better so much faster. I noticed with my sleep, my energy was through the roof. My just recovery, if I did get injured in some way, my body just recovered so much faster. Just really, really fascinating. And then, you just talked about the GLP-1 system, and I kind of hit menopause and I moved and went through, and all of a sudden that, when they talk about the hourglass figure becomes the water glass figure, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, where did this extra come from? And it's been really fascinating to kind of experience that, toning down and slimming down just by cutting down that food noise. So that's been a really powerful product. And over time, it was, this slow progression of just starting to share. My dad got off 2 of his 4 blood pressure medicines, stories and stories. And as far as a practitioner, so, people come to us in pain all the time, right? So, back pain, dysfunctions, headaches, things like that. And so when I first learned about this, my actual first client that I ever shared this with, he had fallen off a roof and been in a boating accident and lots of things. But the thing that bothered him most was his skin. He had a really horrible, flaky skin condition. We don't talk about disease names, but all over his body. And that was the thing that was bothering him. And I said, you know what? I have no idea if this is going to help you. I'm just learning about this. And it was an internal pill that he took, that NRF2 activator, and it was like 75% gone in 2 weeks. And he's like, are you kidding me? I've been trying everything for years. 2 weeks? Holy cow. And that was like, oh, maybe this really does work. Interesting, and so I just started sharing it a little bit more with clients that were struggling. And it was fascinating. I had quite a few clients who had a specific condition where they have lots of pain in their body, and it would come and go and flare up over time. And I could see, some chose to get on these products and some chose not to, and that's okay. And I could tell the difference. Like, wow, the ones that are adding in this activation component, they're just getting better faster. And it was making the work that I was doing as a body, we work with the fascia, we work with the connective tissue. And the results were just more effective, longer lasting, and just fascinating to see that. So I think as a practitioner, it's really empowering to have not just the biomechanic, teaching yoga and other things, is very biomechanical approach to healing. And when we can actually use this platform to help biochemically also, reducing that inflammation, addressing that, you talked about the study on scar tissue and reducing inflammation and things like that. I think it's just so much more powerful. So we've really got, more tools in the toolbox to be able to serve, and it's exciting. Nope, you're muted.
Sorry. I love that you said that. Just more tools in the toolbox. That's how I feel about activation too. It's not like one or the other, it's in conjunction with, and I think it's a very, very powerful level to be working on. In addition to these other things we do as therapists, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, I'm going to come back to the presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the business now. Hope you guys can see that screen. Some amazing success stories around our GLP-1 activation system. We do have a group on Facebook called Activated Weight Loss. So if that's something you're interested in, just get back with the person that invited you to this overview and we can add you to that. Well, let's talk about timing in business. This is really important. If you think about all the big companies that everybody knows right now, Google, Starbucks, Apple, anything, Microsoft, there was a time when people did not know about those companies, right? Well, that's when all the early adopters were investing in those companies. They could see what was happening. They could see the trends in business. And if you can see what's happening right now in health and wellness, and people are looking for solutions, they're trying to move away from possibly pharmaceutical reactive medicine and want to do like more preventative care, then you have the opportunity to still participate in that with LifeVantage. You can see we're still in this like early majority of where we are in our company, even though we're already around the world. You have to think about who has heard of oxidative stress, who's heard of activation. In 12 years of me being in this, probably 5 people I have met have heard of this before. And that's exciting from a business standpoint. So why you will love our compensation plan? Well, just know that we get paid lots of different ways. So you can really do what you want. You can build a small business, a little bit of income. You can build more part-time income. Or if you're really looking to create maybe generational wealth that you could pass down to your family and that it's sustainable, they can inherit your position, then you can build that kind of money here too. Anything is possible here at LifeVantage. So we do have commissions based on sharing with customers, and we also have commissions that reward you for building and growing a team. I'm not going to get into the details of all of how we get paid with our customer sales profit, but to know that we have 3 different pay cost structures: a consultant price, a subscription customer price, and a retail customer price. And you essentially get the difference between what you pay as a consultant and what our customers pays. And you get paid that over and over and over and over again. So it's not like one of those things you refer somebody to a device or a contraption or where you get paid on that one time every single month because people are using these products for life. We also get bonuses based on the growth of your customer base. So if you're the kind of person that loves to share with customers and collect customers, you can earn up to 20% bonus on top of that initial commission. Okay, so that can get very, very lucrative just from the customer standpoint. And if you're thinking, wow, I would like to invite and work with other consultants who are going to turn around and do the same thing, you want to create leverage in your life. And one thing I talked about, what Darlene and I can both relate to is when you're in a client one-on-one format for your income, there's a couple ways you can make more money. It's either trade more time for money, okay? Or you have to hire people and deal with the administration of HR, of hiring, training, managing, and all of that. So not everybody wants to do that either. So this is a way to be in the space of health and wellness if you're excited about it and create that leverage that balances out that need for that one-on-one time. We also get check matching as we grow and help other people grow their businesses. When they get qualified, we also start earning check matches on their income. So it really does reward you for giving and pouring into other people. When you get to the higher ranks of the company takes 5%, I'm sorry, 4% of global commissionable sales, and they put it in a pool and they share it among the executive leaders of our company. Now, all that means for you as the new person is that we, as executive leaders, are incentivized to reach down and help the newest people, because the larger LifeVantage grows, the more successful we are. We're all more successful. It benefits us because of how the company leverages their global profit sharing. That means it's not very competitive across teams. We're very collaborative for that reason as well. And then we have really fun incentives. We have trips, incentive trips. We have a Thailand trip that's next year. I know Darlene just got back from an amazing cruise that she won. I'm going on a cruise in August because of an Alaska cruise they offer. There's a lot of exciting things that can motivate you and make building your business fun here at LifeVantage. Plus, they'll give you a Jeep. When you earn the higher ranks of the company and sustain that, you can earn $25,000 cash or a Jeep Wrangler. Because we are a publicly traded company, everything we do is transparent. You have to go to the website and click on under resources. You'll see our income disclosure statement. And this is the average income people make in our company. Now, in the beginning, it's not a lot of money, okay? It can range. This is just the average when people are getting started. But that, it takes a lot of money in your savings account to create $84 of interest, right? How much money do you have to have in your savings account to create that? And then when you grow in your business, senior consultant 1, consultant 2, consultant 3, you're getting into some part-time income. That could be a car payment. That could be part of your mortgage. And then when you get to the managing ranks of our company, managing consultant 1, Darlene is almost a managing consultant 2. She's in between that MC1 and MC2 range. And I wanted to invite Darlene to share a little bit about, we could just stay customers and use the products, but you stepped into participating in the business. I'm going to just stop share here again so you can jump in here. Just, why LifeVantage? Why did you say yes to the business?
Thank you, Kathleen, for sharing all of this information. It's so valuable. Yeah, when I first learned, again, I really wasn't looking for anything. I had a lot on my plate. I was like, I'm not going to do a business, but if this is something that could help my patients, I certainly want to know about it, my clients. So, I really just dove into the research. I started looking at all the articles and was like, wow, why haven't I heard about this? I've been in the wellness field for a long time, dove into it, got really excited. And then I started to I knew I wanted it in my body. I started to share with a few people, started seeing their results, and my belief kind of started to grow. But it really wasn't until I went to one of the big corporate events and I got in person with people that knew a lot more about this than I did. And I went up to the chief science officer and I was like, okay, listen, I've got a lot of people with autoimmune conditions. I've got a lot of people with pain conditions. Is this going to bother them? Is this going to make it worse for their autoimmune? He's like, no. He's like, honestly, Darlene, we went into the lab and we tried to mess it up. We did. We were concerned. We said, what if we do too much of this or too less of this? He goes, NRF2 activation, the science of activation is like a regulator. It turns up what's supposed to go up, it turns down what's supposed to go down, and it balances things out. So even in an autoimmune condition, they're seeing benefits. And then I started seeing that in my clients. I'm like, wow, okay, that makes sense. We actually have a fellow MFR therapist who I think parents, one had too much iron in their blood and one had too little iron in the blood, to the point where they were like going in for infusions and pulling iron out. And they both started on the activator and they both came into balance. Like, amazing, right? Fascinating. I was a mechanical engineer. I did a lot of process engineering. So I was like, wait, who's in charge of quality control? Like, give me that person. And I cornered them and I was like, tell me about your testing and what do you do for bioavailability? And, they said, well, this is what we have to meet. This is the bare minimum. And this is what we do. They don't skip lot test. There was an option to go to a cheaper raw material. They're like, no. We need the bioavailability, these components, it just gave me a lot of confidence that this company is doing what it's supposed to do and doing it the right way and just the heart of the people. I also, if you are in the healthcare practitioners world, when you go to the big events, they have a doctors and healthcare practitioners meeting. And just to be in that room with, literally hundreds of healthcare practitioners sharing what they're seeing and best practices is an amazing thing. And I was quartering some of the doctors and I was like, try to explain this to me again. Like I have one person saying that their digestion is better, someone else's headache is better, someone else's shoulder and joint pain is better. I had a guy with an amputated leg and had debilitating phantom pain, was on disability because he couldn't work. And when he started activation, it finally calmed down. That pain went away. And I was like, explain this to me. How can it work on so many things? They said, activation addresses cellular breakdown, right? You shared that in that science, right? So if you are fixing oxidative stress is at the root of like 200 dysfunctions, malfunctions, conditions, and diseases in the body. And so if the oxidative stress is attacking your joints, you're going to have less joint pain. If it's attacking your mitochondria, that's your energy centers, you're going to feel more energy, right? So better bowel movements, but like all these different things, you're like, oh, how can one thing do all that? And it's really addressing the root cause, right? If we can get to the root cause of cellular breakdown, then it fixes a lot of things. And that is incredibly powerful as a practitioner, people coming to us for advice and guidance with their health. Wow, what a powerful tool to have in our toolbox. And as a business-minded person, we talk about health, right? There's physical health, but there's financial health, right? How many people are on their knees praying for a solution to put food on their table for their kids, or be able to just get through the day at the end of the month, right? And so for me personally, there was a very much like, at first I'm like, well, I just want to share and I just want to help people. But then all of a sudden, I got injured. I was in horrible herniated disc pain and I had to shut down my practice because I was in worse, you know, feeling worse than my patients for that short amount of time. And then COVID hit. And then I built my practice back up and then we moved again. And each time I shut my practice down, my linear income, I worked at a hospital with pediatric, kids with brain injuries and spinal cord injuries. I was teaching yoga. I had my private practice, but I was an independent contractor for all of those things. So all of that income went to zero when I moved. All of that income went to zero when when COVID hit, right? And so all of a sudden I go into my back office for LifeVantage and this income's going up and up and up. Oh, this is a viable business too, right? So it's, as a practitioner, it is really powerful to be able to dig that well before you need it. If something were to hit and you were to get injured and couldn't treat your clients. But what a gift to be able to offer both physical and financial support for people. So I think it's a beautiful win-win. The company's incredible, heart-centered, amazing people and community, and we just get to change lives around the world, right? And as far as a platform, you used to have to be in my town and get a slot on my schedule to be able to work with me, and now I have customers and clients in multiple countries: Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, Canada, the US. And that's a platform that I get to serve now that I could have never done with just treating people one-on-one in my practice. So it's just a win-win all around. It's an incredible platform, incredible people, and a heart-centered and driven, focused, debt-free company. It's a win-win. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you love to travel with your family, and you know what? You can't treat patients while you're traveling. Do you know anybody that likes to travel? Anybody? Yeah.
I did. I was traveling. I was literally in New Zealand and I'm going, oh, I got it. Hey, I'm really interested in this. I really want to find out more. Oh, that's great. I'm going to go to this. I'm like in New Zealand with my friend. I'm going to connect you to Kathleen. And I did that. By the time I came out, she had enrolled in the business and I was like, oh, because we work as a team and we can be anywhere and on a mountain or on a beach and be able to change people's lives. So
it's a business that goes with us. We don't have to go with it everywhere, right? So
that.
thank you so much, Darlene. And we're gonna wrap here. I'm gonna go back to this screen here. And I promised I would share my story really quickly. 12 years ago, I was with two babies at the time, And, I had my own practice and I loved it. However, I couldn't do both things the way that I wanted to. I couldn't be the mom I wanted to be and run a full-time practice. So I didn't have an answer though. And I was just seeing patients part-time at this point, and I was praying for a way that I could do some work from home to offset the amount of hours I had to work out of the house, because I truly wanted to be with my kids. And a friend of mine said, I've got a business opportunity for you, and shared that ABC News clip with me. Well, the rest is history. It took me a little bit of digging, understanding what oxidative stress was, and I figured, how could I possibly keep that a secret from people? If all I was doing was sharing an ABC News clip and working in a team or inviting them to a presentation, I'm like, I could not do that. And I wanted those products in my body, because I do think preventatively. I'm just that type of person. Like, where do I want my body to be in 10 years and 20 years? Start doing that now. And I knew I was going to do that. So I stepped in as a consultant, and I do remember saying, even if I made a few $100s a month, that would be worth it, because it was the flexibility that was truly the most important thing to me. Well, once I started making $1,200 and $1,500 a month, I realized this could make a real impact on my ability to set up my kids in these really special schools, or, their early education, without having to treat more patients. And then it just kept growing. I went to the smartest people I know. Darlene was one of them along the way, and invited people to take a look. I didn't judge people. I just said, maybe it's something for you. And it just kept growing. It's turned into a huge team globally. And now I am ranked as an executive consultant. And you can see the average income is about $14,000. That's on average. That's life-changing money for me and my family. That means I can have a practice here in Panama City. I took off a year while I was down here to move, and I was able to pick up and start a practice without any stress. And I think Darlene can relate to that. And I think we were excited to be on here tonight, because we have those similar stories of starting over again and having the cushion of LifeVantage and having the access to a business that we can grow it as big as we want. So I'm so grateful. And now I do have something that my kids can inherit from me. They can't really inherit my practice. So we do have a simple system. It is a proven plan. We work with you to train you when you become a consultant, but it's all about doing something the way you bring this to people, the way hundreds and thousands of other people can do it. So we're not going to teach you any special artistic skills or anything. We're going to teach you a system that you can teach to other people. And that's how you create generational wealth. And that's how you create a sustainable business here in network marketing and LifeVantage. So getting started, you're falling into one of three categories. The first category is you would like to dig in more, do some more research. We do have a unique LifeVantage website through the person that invited you. They can send yours to you. If you go online to do research, we recommend scholar.google.com and pubmed.gov to get the science, or just go to the LifeVantage website, because there are paid bloggers and advertisers out there that do post things that are inaccurate, not true. They're designed to pull you from one part of the internet to the other. That's what they're there for. And we do have some really amazing Facebook education groups. I mentioned activated weight loss earlier, and we have a group called Health Evolution, because this truly is evolved health. And so you can go in there and see people's stories that we've been collecting for the past 8 years now. Category 2 is you'd like to become a customer. You're ready to be activated and, have more vitality, feel like you can perform better, have more energy, improve your skin, whatever it is you want to do. You can become a customer and get some great pricing as a subscription customer. We also have a rewards program where you can collect points that you can turn around and use like coupons towards your subsequent orders. And then lastly, you're like me and Darlene. You are interested in just becoming a consultant because you want the products in your body. You're open to learning the system and learning the business to share this opportunity with other people and make an impact that way. There's lots of different ways to come in. So these are just 3 options. When I look at these numbers, I think about what it takes for someone to get a college degree and start a career, or become a realtor, or start a traditional business. It can be such a huge investment. And I'm still paying off my student loans, okay, from my 20s and my graduate school. I'm still paying those off, and I'm 49 years old. I got my return on investment in a month of LifeVantage. and I've been in profit ever since. So if that's something that's interesting to you, there's a lot of different options, and the person that invited you can walk you through the different packs we have available. And then you just pick a stack. You pick what you want to order every month as your own best customer. So instead of going to the store and buying from a store, you're buying from your own personal store. These amazing activation products, whatever your health goals are, you can use those products. And with that, I just want to thank Darlene again, tuning in all the way from Australia. I love the access that we have here. And, you know, we both used to be in Maryland. Now I'm in Florida. Now she's in Australia, and we're keep going. Thank you. If you jumped on here tonight, I see Vicki Reeves here. Thank you so much, Vicki and Ro. And Michelle, thank you so much for being here. And if this is your replay, just let the person know who invited you, what category you fall into. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.